Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I am Chad. I am the Reseller Rockefeller. I'm a full-time reseller. This is my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, go down, hit that big subscribe button. Also, give it a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It helps me build followers. It helps me build my channel up, and it also brings new people to the channel. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. So today, I'm in the warehouse. I've been photographing items. I've been cleaning and testing items and just trying to get as much work done as possible. It's Sunday. Most of you, that are resellers, obviously, you know that this is pretty much what life consists of as a reseller. You're photographing items, you're listing items, and then luckily, we get to go source for those good items, and that is probably the biggest and funnest part of being a reseller is sourcing. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about real fast. We're going to talk a little bit about, sourcing and why should you source at certain places and why shouldn't you source at certain places. And also we're going to talk a little bit about thinking outside of the box when it comes down to sourcing. So after, probably a few years of doing this business, I started to do things kind of differently than what was, I guess you could consider to be the normal way of finding stuff. So years and years ago, when I first started reselling, everybody was going to thrift stores. Everybody was going to, obviously, yard sales, estate sales, and then there was storage auctions. Now that time has kind of come and gone. At least it's come and gone for me. I don't really do storage auctions, but back in the day, I used to do a lot of storage auctions. I used to buy storage units all the time, but after that TV show came out, storage unit prices started to go really high, and I just kind of got out of the business. There wasn't that much success in that business. At least there wasn't for me. I know that there is a lot of resellers out there that do nothing but storage units, and they're very successful at it. Just like with anything in life, if you have the right strategy, you have the right system set up, you can be successful at damn near anything. But for me, I just, I didn't really like it as much. It really wasn't as much fun as what I thought it was going to be. I did it for about 3.5, 4 years. I made some money. I had, a pretty good run at buying storage units. But as far as sourcing goes, at the beginning part of this, reselling business that I created almost 15 years ago, I did basically the traditional way of sourcing. Yard sales, estate sales, flea markets, and thrift stores, and also storage units. And that seems to be the same way that most people are sourcing these days. If you go online and you go to YouTube and you go to Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all this great stuff, most people are sourcing that way. Then you have the people that do retail arbitrage. You have the people that do books and they buy wholesale, pallets full of books, and they do Amazon FBA and Amazon, all kinds of stuff, right? The times have kind of changed, and obviously, with time comes change, and with change comes different things and different ideas, and people share those ideas, and then next thing you know, millions and millions of people are doing the exact same thing. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is how to kind of do things outside of the box and kind of not reinvent the wheel, but kind of do things differently. So like, I look at reselling as, an all-around wonderful and great business that I truly love. I enjoy it. It's fun. But I also look at it as like a game, like a chess game. How can I outplay everybody else and win at the game that everybody else is playing? And that's kind of how you have to approach things. And you have to kind of approach it on a much smaller level, though. So, like, obviously, I'm not trying to, outplay or outwin a reseller that lives in California. They're not they're not my competition. I'm trying to win, in my town. I'm trying to outplay and, outwit all of the resellers that are local, because that is my true competition. The people that buy and sell items locally are my competition, and I'm their competition. So you have to kind of think outside of the box. You have to kind of think, all right, what are all of these resellers in my local area doing to find inventory? Well, I know that they're going to garage sales. I see them at garage sales. I know that they're going to thrift stores. I see them at thrift stores. I know that they're buying items on Facebook, but not as much. And I know that they go to storage auctions. Obviously, I don't go to storage auctions no more, but they go to storage auctions. I see a lot of resellers at the local auctions. We only have a couple of local auctions, but I do see some resellers there. And, that's pretty much it. So I'm trying to think outside of the box. How can I get inventory and find inventory before all of these other resellers? And you have to do this. If you're a reseller and you're watching this video, you need to tell yourself that you need to win at the game of finding inventory. It's like a chase, and you need to be the first one at the end, and you need to get the prize of the inventory. And it's a race. It's a full-blown race, and whoever ends up with the inventory was the fastest one in the race. And so you have to think outside of the box. You have to come up with new ways to get inventory. One thing that I think a lot of resellers, especially in my local area, they slack on advertising. Simple advertising and word of mouth, telling people that you're a reseller. I've talked about this in other videos. I think that it's some type of stigma that you can't tell people that you're a reseller, that you kind of want to stay low key and that you want to kind of fly under the radar. I don't think that's the way to go about things. I think putting your name out there, letting people know who you are, letting people know what it is that you do, what kinds of items are you looking for, and your name kind of spreads like wildfire. People start to call you up and tell you, hey Chad, look, I got your number from a friend of mine who is in the real estate business. They gave me your business card. I'm actually dealing with a problem. My mother-in-law, she's sick. She got ill. She's moving into apartments, and she needs her house cleaned out. We have a bunch of stuff. Would you come take a look and make us an offer on everything in the estate? Those are the kinds of phone calls that I get on a regular basis. So I'm able to get this type of inventory, really good inventory, and I'm not, I don't even have to go out and source for it. All I have to do is go look at it, make an offer, and negotiate. And so this is something that I see in my local town that resellers are not doing. There's a lot of resellers in my town, and most of them are very conventional. They go to yard sales, they go to estate sales, they go to flea markets and thrift stores, they go to storage auctions and things of that nature, but they don't really do anything else. They don't advertise on Facebook, they do not pass out business cards. Most of them don't even have business cards, and they don't really do anything else. So what I'm telling you is that you need to think outside of the box. You have to do everything in your power to try to get as much good inventory as possible, and you got to figure out better ways to do that. Obviously, it just depends on your area. Stuff that works for me might not work for you. I have a good friend of mine that's in the New Orleans, Louisiana area, and there is a bunch of really high-end, really well-established estate liquidation companies that have kind of taken over the whole town of New Orleans, and it makes it very hard for resellers to do like what I'm capable of doing here, which is like buying out estates. So like obviously in New Orleans, I would suggest that you not try to compete with the big estate liquidation companies and to, kind of do something else. But for me, the estate liquidation side actually works. I'm actually getting phone calls. I'm having people call me on a regular basis. And most of the times, it's people that have already contacted estate liquidation companies and they told them it would be a month, or they told them that they, were going to do an estate sale and that the estate sale would take 2 weeks and that they would take 50% of the profits. All of, estate liquidation companies, do things differently depending on where you're located. But here, most of the estate liquidation companies charge a pretty good amount of, a pretty good percentage of the business, of the total profits, and they are backed up. They don't want to come, they don't want to do anything immediately. That's just how it is. So I'm able to steal a lot of their business because I'm ready to make offers immediately. Most of the times when people call me, I can come to their property within just a matter of a day. I can look at everything they have. I can either buy it all or I can do partial buyouts. I'm really flexible, and that's why people like to work with me. So, all in all, what I'm trying to get across to you is that the game is you are a reseller, you need to find inventory, and you need to think outside of the box to be able to compete with all of the other resellers there are in your local area. And doing that, within doing that, you're going to be able to find better stuff. You're going to be able to buy more stuff. And that means you're going to be able to sell more stuff. If you're at a point right now in your business where you're not able to source enough, I know a lot of resellers that resort to buying wholesale. They start to think about, how can I get more inventory? I'm struggling. I can't find enough stuff out at garage sales and estate sales and flea markets and thrift stores. And they automatically get online and they start watching these videos of people telling them, to buy from wholesale websites. And look, it might work for you. You might be able to make millions and millions of dollars doing that type of business. But if you're anything like me, you are not going to enjoy that side of the business. I have tried that. I have bought all kinds of, new items, wholesale. And don't get me wrong, some of those buys made me a lot of money. Some of those deals I lost money on, and some of those deals made me realize that it just wasn't for me. I like the treasure hunt. I like going out and finding items. I like sourcing at garage sales and digging through stuff and pulling out that gem, that item. I like the part that is the negotiation side. I like negotiating. I think it's a game. It's everything about reselling is what I like. So I'm not going to, do something else just because I'm not going to do something that I don't like just because I'm trying to find a fix for one problem, which is I can't get enough inventory. Also, I see a lot of resellers that get into this business and they try to grow their business so fast and they try to expand their business so fast that they end up failing. And that is a big problem in the reselling community. People, become a reseller. They start, peddling items on eBay. They sell a few hundred items. They go out, they rent a huge warehouse. Then they upload videos saying, look at this big, gigantic warehouse. I'm going to have to up my game. They start buying pallets of Amazon returns, and they start buying pallets of books, and they start doing so many different things. They start hiring people, and next thing you know, a year later, they're filing bankruptcy, or they lost their warehouse, or they're just breaking even. They're not making a lot of money. They're getting credit lines through PayPal. They're getting credit cards. They're going into debt just to keep their business afloat. These are things that I see all of the time. Now, obviously, you're not going to see it that much on YouTube because who's going to blast themselves as failures on YouTube? Most people are not going to do that. Most of the people that you see doing exactly what I just said are people trying to, make themselves appear bigger than they actually are. These are the types of resellers that are trying to gain followers for profit, and they're not actually trying to teach you the ins and outs of being a reseller. They're definitely not trying to show you the successful side of reselling. They're trying to pave the way that might not be the path that you want to take, if that makes any sense. You don't know how many times I've had resellers reach out to me and try to tell me, what I'm doing is wrong. That there's no way that I can expand this business into a six-figure business. There's no way that I can do anything bigger than what I'm doing now. And all I'm doing is buying and selling junk. Well, if that's what you believe, by all means, more power to you. I get those types of, comments all the time. I get people at garage sales that look at me and they say, why are you buying that piece of junk when you could be buying, these gaming systems? Or, why are you buying that antique when you could be buying this electronic item? I buy all kinds of stuff. If you follow my channel, you know that I buy anything and everything. If I can make money on it, I'm going to buy it. But I go after certain types of items because I have knowledge, more knowledge in certain fields than I do in other fields. So obviously I'm going to gravitate towards what I know best. Knowledge is king. I talk about it all the time on my channel. And sometimes people get caught up in what they believe to be a path that you're supposed to take. People go on social media and they read all of this stuff on Facebook and they read all of this stuff and listen to all these videos on YouTube, and they automatically think that to become successful, you have to do things like A, B, C, D. But they don't understand that you can start at F, you can start at anywhere that you want. You don't have to follow the path of anybody. You don't have to do what other people have already created. You're not replicating something. You're trying to build your own path. You're trying to do your own thing. And that's the fun part of this business, is that you can create whatever it is that you want to create. You can come up with whatever it is that you want to come up with. You can build your business. You can have your system. you can, have everything the way that you want it. And that's what I've created here. And I've created a super successful business that I'm making quite a bit of money on. I'm super successful financially and mentally, and I'm super happy, and that's all it's about. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing, and that's why my channel is a lot different than most of those out there. I don't have the conventional YouTube channel. I don't talk about the same type of stuff. So I'm gonna only attract certain types of resellers, and that's great. Because if you follow my channel and you like my content and you actually enjoy listening to me ramble on about reselling, then you're the type of person that I want subscribed to my channel. I don't want somebody subscribed to my channel that's sitting there watching my videos and saying, yeah, this guy, he's nuts. This guy don't know what he's talking about. The way to success is buying Amazon returns. Or, this isn't how you make money in reselling. Reselling is buying books, going in and scanning books all day, scanning books. Look, man, whatever works for you might work for you. But to me, scanning books isn't fun. Even if I could make money doing it, I wouldn't want to. Why do I want to sit at a Goodwill with my phone and a scanner and scan 500 books? That isn't fun. There's nothing interesting about it. I could go get a job at Publix and be better off. That's what I'm trying to explain. You need to think more about what you're trying to build and what you're trying to create, because you might find yourself in a situation another year, 2 years down the road saying, why did I do this, man? I'm burnt out. I've scanned 5 million books over the past couple of years. I am burnt out. There's nothing that I find exciting about this business anymore. And that's, to be honest with you, I have had people reach out to me that have actually went through exactly what I just said. I've had people reach out to me and talk to me about how they did things a certain way, thinking that they had to follow the conventional route of being a reseller, or maybe they got hooked onto somebody that was really big on YouTube. It's really, it's something else, because social media has changed the reselling game. There's so much information out there on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram. But the thing is I think a lot of people, they go onto YouTube and they go onto Instagram and they find these resellers that are extremely popular on social media. And they automatically think, since they're popular on social media, then this must be the correct business model. They must be doing the correct thing. And this is what I'm going to try to replicate, because I want to be like them. And then they create a business and they start doing exactly like, Joe Schmo said to do. But then later on they figure out, man, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted to go to garage sales. I wanted to buy this. I'm into jewelry, or I'm into watches. I wanted to become the biggest watch expert and reseller, and I wanted to take over the game and buy antiques, and I like to treasure hunt, and this, that, and another. So you got to think twice about how you're going to structure your business from the very get-go. At the very beginning of becoming a reseller, you need to map out what you would like to do, and you just kind of build from there. So hopefully that makes sense. I know that I've rambled on now for 20 minutes, but hopefully everything that I'm saying makes sense to somebody out there, and hopefully it's able to help you. I'm hoping that people watch these videos and they not only get the help that they seeked, but they also get that inspiration, that motivation to kind of do more and to think differently. So that's my video for today. I should have, planned this out a little more. I'm not really good at planning. I don't really I've never sat down with a video and thought about, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm just kind of, turn the camera on and start talking type of guy. But anyways, I really appreciate everybody who watches my videos. If you liked today's video, go down, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know why you liked it in the comments. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I am the Reseller Rockefeller, and this time I'm going to say peace.